tell us your story about how you got started in business.
Well, I graduated when I was young, graduated as an interior designer. I just loved that perfection. Like, I don't know, it was my dream come true.
Oh,
My
yeah.
husband instead was in the jewelry industry. And when he decided to open up the company, our first company, he needed my help. So the dream went in a drawer and it stayed there, remained there, I guess, forever. I did few projects, but that was it. So basically, we opened up our first company in the jewelry industry, manufacturing. And after 1 year, I think I have to say that we really did the things properly, because after 1 year, we were ready. We received an offer and we planned an exit very well done. And sometimes when I think backwards and I say, well, I don't know how I did it. Okay. And basically I sold part of my shares and I remained with the new company for an extra 5 years. And after 5 years, I left and I sold the rest of the shares. The company was very successful at the time and probably was the biggest manufacturing company in Canada in the jewelry industry. Yeah. After that, I opened up. Obviously, I had an agreement that I could not open up another manufacturing company for another. I think it was like a grain ski contract at that time. They give me another 10 years. So obviously, no manufacturing company. We open up, I should say, a product development company, because I'm from Italy and my ex-husband is the same. So basically, people knew us from the old country, and people wanted to come and sell in North America, and that's the way that the company that I have right now started. Basically, marketing and preparing the market and selling product that was at the time manufactured in Italy, or sometime the product that is manufactured in the United States. Right now, I have a big company from United States, and I'm taking care of their product in the Canadian market. I do have other companies at the moment that they're coming in now again from Italy, that they want to introduce their own product in the market, and that's what I do. So basically, we start from scratch. We take a product from a non-known product, and we study the market, because each product is different. I have salespeople in the road here and here in United States. So obviously United States is a totally different market than ours, but that's the bread and butter of every day of my business.
Oh, super nice. So you started in interior design and like landed up in business.
Business.
Did you find that you had like a natural knack for it? Or like was it like what was that like transition, that journey like?
No, Allison, I don't know if I have a natural knack of it. I don't know. It's just that I've been in school since I finished interior design, and I'm still in school. Okay, whatever I don't know, I have to know. I don't just go and say it's okay, I have it. I don't have anything, I think. I don't know. But I trust my instinct when I have to choose a company, but I think this is part of the fact that I'm in this business for the past 25 years. So, you know something, right?
Yeah.
But for example, when you're talking about the jewelry industry, just the accounting system per se is totally different from any other business. Why? Because gold, it's priced in US dollars, and
Yeah.
we are in Canada. It fluctuates every minute. And the jewelry industry, whatever you sell, you do not collect. So, meaning that you got to give terms.
Okay.
So your accounting system has to take, so I had to learn how to hedge the gold pricing, buying future. So I went back to school to learn how to do that, right? And anyway, I've been, as I said, computer, all kind of different schooling that I was needed for a business. And I also have a master in science of innovation. So that helps a lot, especially now that the business is so fast and changing on everywhere. So I think this master really added a lot in my experience, because experience is important, but then your knowledge, even your knowledge doesn't give you money, but it helps you, not to make certain mistakes. That's, I always say that.
Yeah. Like, what would you say is like your favorite thing about business or favorite aspect of business you've encountered like throughout the years?
Well, in my industry, it's a beautiful industry. I mean, when person goes and buy jewelry, it
Mhm.
has to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So, and you always look at beautiful things. It's so that's it. I never get tired of that. I don't wear anything.
Yeah.
Your typical, like the shoemaker that goes and walk without shoes. But I don't wear much stuff, but I just love to look at beautiful, well-made pieces. So that's why also I always chose companies that they are at the higher level,
Mhm.
because the quality is unbelievable. That's one thing. And then I love any business wise, I love, I think, any part of the business, from the startup to the exiting. Everything is so interesting for me. And taking, one concept at a time, everything is interesting.
And
And
how
there
do
is
you,
a lot to do.
and how do you know if a strategy is like working or not? Like at what point of like the business? Like do you realize like yes, this is gonna be a success or like no, this is not working out and you need to pivot or stuff like that? Like what are some key indications? Would you
Well, the key indication, I think, it depends on the market. What we see on the market now, what we saw 2 years ago, that all of a sudden everything was shut down. In Canada, at that time, I had 26 stores working with my product, and Canada shut down every single one of them. Okay. And it didn't shut down for 3 months like in the United States. They shut down for a year and a half. So it made a huge difference. So immediately I started pivoting and check what we could have done, at that moment. So a lot of my stores, none of them probably, they had the basic website, and now all of a sudden you see that they have an in-store where people can shop,
yeah.
because you cannot sell diamonds in the street. You
Yeah.
you have to be somewhere secure, right? So that wasn't one thing, and now I think in the past 5 6 years, business is changing fast, faster than what you can imagine, and so you have to adapt and you have to think ahead every time to make sure that you stay above, right?
Yeah. What challenges do you think will impact sort of like you're in marketing and and that kind of thing? What challenges do you think will impact like the marketing industry in like the next 5 years, say?
Okay, if you are taking again my industry,
Yeah.
it's a big challenge, because you have an impact of a totally different generation.
Hmm.
My industry, it's the industry that is no bread and butter. People don't need it. Although people like it, but no, you don't, nobody needs it. Let's face it, who needs a Chanel bag,
Yeah.
right? If you don't have funds, you just look at it. So we are the major luxury company. They are changing totally the direction that they're going, but they have to maintain the quality, they have to maintain the brand. So it's not an easy step. So it's through the marketing, probably changing, and a little bit of the product, but you cannot change the quality. You cannot change what the name is all about. So it's not a struggle, because luckily the luxury industry in even last to 2021 in North America, and I'm talking for North America because Europe is totally different again. but we had an increase in business of 33% above 2019. So it means that people still spend the money.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have it, maybe they saved somewhere else, but they spend on luxury, right? But it's not the end of it.
Yeah.
Every day you gotta watch out. And I mean, I think I spend probably a couple of hours every morning reading whatever article is coming up, because you have to be ready, you have to be upfront and know what you're talking about, especially now through Consulta, when I'm going to tell some person is going to ask me a question about the marketing part, or ask me a question, what should I do? I'm a new business, you know.
Hmm.
Which I would love to have one of those in my hands. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What like made you become a consultant and join Consulta?
It was COVID.
Hmm.
COVID. It was talking with few of my friends. Sometimes I think we are all um, we all we know what we know, but we never believe that we know enough to give it to someone else and to
Yeah.
transmit it or give it to really bring it to someone else. And yeah, talking to a friend of mine, I remember he said, but he mentioned, he said, Renata, do you have an idea of the number of clients that you know and that you can walk through? Say, yeah, I know. And he goes, oh, Canada, yeah, Canada and United States, because I have a lot of clients there too. I say, can you imagine if you could give that to someone else, to a younger person that can start?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I say, you know, yes. And I met then Alexandra through HEC, same university. And she was telling me that she wanted to open up this business in Toronto. And I said, okay, whatever, I would like to help. That's the way. Yeah. And here I am.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, like try and think of.
I tell you, yeah, I did work for another company too during COVID. At the beginning of COVID, I was hired by Exec HQ from United States, and they also do consulting online. Okay, that was prior Alexandra. And then when I met Alexandra, obviously I had to take a decision, and I chose Alexandra. It's fine.
Hmm. In, I guess, your words, like what makes Consulta different from all the other consulting places? Like what made you choose, this online consulting platform over the one you just mentioned? What
Because
makes
because it's a new company, and there is a fresh vibe that you people wants to do, and I think I can help. I think I can give. I like to give whatever I have, whatever I know, to Consulta, because I know it's going to be successful. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be go where Alexandra is planning to go. Okay. But as I said, it was the vibe inside that, new company, let's work. We got to work harder. We got to reach in different direction right now to make sure that we succeed, but we will make it, I know. Yeah. And then Exetic Chew is a great company, but it was established already. So I like to be here.
yeah. What's besides like it feeling like fresh and that you can help, like what's your favorite thing about working with startups and small businesses?
Because they need everything. And I think I feel like it's like an adventure. You're launching something new. You don't know if it's going to be working. You don't know if it's what the people want. If you don't know if the final consumer wants it, or how the final consumer is going to react. So I love it because sometimes I listen to people and they say, well, I have this idea and I can make so much. And then I start thinking, I play the devil and say, okay, you think that, why you think that? And then I start, who's going to use it? for the final user, how you think is going to see it, what you think is going to be able to pay. So these are all the questions. Then you see people start thinking about it. But that's what you need. You have to make people think. And once they think, then they realize they step behind and say, okay, let's do something else. Let's do some kind of research, because you have to research a lot.
What's like your biggest like advice to startups to kind of like keep going if they're like feeling like they aren't really going anywhere with their idea, or like what would you say is your greatest piece of advice for that?
I would say one important thing that I believe is it's also one of the biggest mistakes that every startup makes, is that they have the idea, they know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot launch any kind of business and be successful by yourself. You have a strength, I have a strength, another person has another strength, but you need a combination of people, at least 4 people in a company to be able to launch it and to have success. Because even if you are so good that you can do everything, you don't have the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the time, unless you have a lot of money already that you can hire the best, then I think you need 4 people inside your company. And it doesn't matter what, but then you have to pay huge salaries, right?
Yeah.
So always think about that. There is always something that you don't know. Yeah.
What's been your biggest like learning curve when starting your own business from your own personal experience?
Well, in this industry, the learning curve was the financial part, the financing and accounting side. That was a big one for me at that time, because I never think that an industry, but then it can give you such a challenge, and it keeps you on the ball every time. That was one of the challenges. And the other challenge that I have now, for example, is finding people that the new generation that right now we have in the market is, I guess the young generation, they like to have a certain security. So they like the 9-to-5 positions. That's a challenge, because unfortunately in this in this kind of business and industry, unless you are specific in a certain position, but if you want to go out and meet people and sell or offer your knowledge, there is not much security behind. You have to create your own clientele, right? So the company can give you the clients, but then you have to expand on those, but you have to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the challenge. Yeah, that's what I noticed today.
That's interesting. I'm trying to think of more questions to ask you. I guess it's more like, I don't know, maybe a personal question. But like for example, like growing up, like as you said, like jewelry isn't something that you like need, really. It's more of like a want. Like you can live without jewelry, right? But I would say probably like growing up, or probably like the way my parents see jewelry, is that like gold like is an investment. Like you can always have like a gold necklace if you want to like change it up. You can always like boil it down and like make your own like new bracelet or whatever. Like how do you communicate that like importance to other people? So for example, like my parents think like, yeah, like jewelry is like an investment. It's not just something that looks like very beautiful. How do you convince other people like of that? Like the importance of your company and like why you need something that's not really needed.
I think this is psychology in the human being, because at the end of the day, after you work and you're tired, you gotta take care of yourself, and the piece of jewelry makes you happy. Like when you go out, whatever you like, if it's not jewelry, it's a nice bag for a lady, for a woman, a nice bag, a nice pair of shoes. Maybe you don't even need it. But at the end of the day, after a stressful week or a month or whatever, you say, you know what, I deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you, it's the moment, and it makes you feel good. So you have jewelry stores, or you have a lot of actresses now that they are wearing gold back, if you notice.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a return to the gold, which was disappearing for a while. Everybody was selling, iPhones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the little things sometimes makes you feel better. This is what fashion, jewelry, and luxury items. Why a man has to buy a Ferrari? What, you need a Ferrari, really? But still, you have to order that car, and it takes almost 1 year to get it. Why they have to buy a Rolex? A Rolex watch, a jewelry store will kill to have the Rolex in their own stores. Why? And so because it's luxury and because it's something that people has to reward themselves, and it's just humankind.
Yeah. And like on your like consultant profile on Consulta, like it says you help like luxury and nonprofit. I feel like those are very like two very different
Too.
polar opposites.
The non-profit is because I became a Rotarian in 2004, and since then, even Rotary has been part of my daily life, no life, daily life, meaning that every day after I finish working, I have dinner, and then I work for 1 hour, whatever we have to do. It's like I consider myself lucky because I have beautiful family. I have a job that is satisfying and allow me to travel. That's what I always wanted to do, is traveling. So
Mhm.
basically, from the month of September to the end of November, I'm going to be just traveling all over. And so I'm lucky. I got what I want. So now let's try to do something, because there is a lot to do outside. There is a lot of people that they are not as lucky, and a lot of countries that they are needing everything. And I think it's through Rotary, I balance this part. Yes, I am making so much, but I'm able to give it out and to balance and help someone who is in need right now. Yeah. So the part of the non-for-profit, I like it and I love it, because I know a lot of business today,
Yeah.
successful businesses, they have a foundation program, because obviously the income is so much. Now we got to get it out
Hmm.
to be able to be also, in the market as a company. You have to show that you are doing something for the community.
Yeah.
People are looking at that. Yeah. So,
Do you find any like similarities to like luxury and nonprofits?
oh yes, there is a lot to do on not-for-profit, non-profit. Yes, there is a lot of work, because you have to raise funds. And in order to raise funds, you have to go and be able to knock at doors.
Hmm.
Again, if you're shy, and through Rotary, you learn not to be shy, because now you're not going to knock at doors to make money. You're going to knock doors to help someone else. So it helps, you're helping other people, helping yourself at the same time. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, learn to do speeches in front of people. You learn not to be, considering every time of what am I going to say. They put you on the spot.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a good schooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed the time. Like, is there anything else, like, quickly that you'd want to share?
Well, uh, yeah, another part that I am planning now to improve is going to be, I want to take courses now on circular economy, because I think it's part of this new economy when you have to think about the environment. So you have to be able to, it's not recycling, it's totally different. We have to be able to find the right way and the right company to do certain things. So I think I found a good school, and most probably I'm going to start taking these courses. So by the end of December, I can offer something else to Consulta. You will have something else to offer to your client.